Hello and welcome to this week's edition of Echo45 Advisors Market and Economic Update. The stock market is experiencing a broad pullback with the S&P 500 now down 5% from its recent peak and the Nasdaq in correction territory. In this video, we'll talk about the factors driving this pullback and how investors should view recent events with perspective. Market declines are never pleasant, but understanding how to manage them can help investors to stay on track toward their financial goals. First, the market began experiencing a rotation about a month ago when large cap stocks declined and areas such as small caps rose. Investors have grown more nervous about the long bull market in technology and AI stocks. The Magnificent Seven stocks, for instance, have gained 162% since the beginning of last year, even with the most recent pullback. More recently, all parts of the market have struggled due to new economic data and concerns around the Fed. Many investors worry that the Fed may have waited too long to cut interest rates, which we'll explore in a moment. This chart highlights the importance of having a longer time horizon and not just focusing on what's happened over the past few days or weeks. Despite the recent decline, the S&P 500 has still made significant gains over the past few years. This has been the case despite events such as the 2022 bear market, the pandemic, and more. Second, investors are concerned about the economy as the Fed keeps rates high. The jobs report for July showed that unemployment ticked up to 4.3%, exceeding expectations, while jobs growth slowed. This comes just days after the Fed's latest meeting, in which they held rates steady but signaled a willingness to cut rates at their next meeting in September. One reason this has led to concerns is the SOM rule, named after a former Fed economist. The SOM rule is a recession indicator that's based on a sudden rise in unemployment. The July unemployment rate triggered the SOM rule, leading some to worry about a, quote, hard landing by the Fed. However, it's important to maintain perspective here as well. While unemployment has risen, it is still near historic lows. Even Claudia Sahm herself has stated that this rule is not a hard and fast law, but a statistical regularity. This means that while the Fed needs to watch the labor market carefully, it does not mean that we are necessarily in a recession yet. Either way, the Fed is widely expected to cut rates at its next meeting and most likely at every other successive meeting. This would bring the rate relief to the market that it's hoping for, albeit not as quickly as many of the investors would like. Finally, this chart helps to put the recent market swings in perspective. We've experienced two 5% or worse pullbacks for the S&P 500 so far for this year, which is well within normal levels. In fact, an average year experiences 4 or 5 such pullbacks, and bear market years experience many more. While market declines are never pleasant, it's important to keep a level head. The market is adjusting to a new macroeconomic backdrop, which could take time to play out. In many ways, the current macroeconomic environment is exactly what investors had hoped for just a few months ago, with inflation improving, unemployment still low but rising, and interest rates that could decline soon. History shows that staying invested is still the best way to achieve long-term financial goals, even if there are some bumps along the way. We hope that you found these insights helpful. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out, and we look forward to speaking with you soon.